Peanut butter onions from the Great Depression. Like kissing women, stuffing onions full of peanut butter feels rather unnatural to me, but I suppose desperate times call for desperate measures. Start by French revolutioning our onions. Now you can use any type of onion, but I use the round ones, the only type I can find. We need to create a flat bottom. Let me get some reference. Perfect! Time to scoop out the middle. Oh, boy, this onion's strong. A military grade. God damn. Woo! Okay, now that we have a hole in our onion and we look like we've just come from a wake, we need to stuff it. For that, we need a 1/4 cup of peanut butter mixed with half as much breadcrumbs. Why? I suppose it is called the Great Depression for a reason. You know, I don't typically stuff vegetables. Mix! Much prefer stuffing fruit. Do we really just bake this? We do. $3.75 for an hour. A presentable dish. Honey, this has a face made for radio. Closed casket funeral. It's not so much bad as it is unsettling. Simply just no need to do any of this. Lard nuts from 1909. Now, if you're in my line of work, chances are you handle a great deal of nuts. It simply comes with the territory and it's a great perk. However, lard nuts do not sound appealing. They sound contagious. Start with 4 cups of flour, mixed with 1 cup of sugar, plus 5 teaspoons of nutmeg. This lady's spicy. Putting the nut in lard nuts. Now we whisk with a fork. You know, they invented a tool for that. It's called a whisk. Next, we rub in a 1/2 pound of lard with the hands. I hate this. Next up is 3 eggs beaten. Put them up. Mixed in again with the hands. Lady loves her digits. Now we roll to balls. So if you're not sure what a nut is, you're too young. They can be any cookie with a stiff spiced dough, usually finished with a nut, which is how most of us finish. 300 until browned. High. They taste a bit like mothballs or like an old handkerchief. A Jello poke cake from 79. So there's 2 crazy things about this cake. One being, well, it's a cake with Jello set inside of it. Second being, it's found in my new cookbook, Baking Yesteryear. Coming out this July, everywhere books are sold. What? Yeah, this is not a joke. This is a book announcement. You should pre-order. Start with 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1.5 cups of sugar, 4 eggs. Oh, the nerve! I know what I'm doing. I have a cookbook. Whisk. Dry ingredients are 2 1/4 cups of flour, pinch of salt, a teaspoon of floof powder. Then we alternate mixing dry to wet with a cup of mood juice. Done. Then into a 9x13, 350 for about a 1/2 hour. Then over 3 ounces of any flavored Jello goes a cup of boiling water. This is the first time I'm using raspberry. So it's been an hour and both of these have cooled down, so now we stab. But you never stabbed a cake before. Here we go. To the fridge. Good morning. Top with whipped cream. That's a darn good cake. Bacon grease chocolate chip cookies from 53. Now, I don't need to tell you how much we love bacon, and when it's cooked, it renders out a fair bit of liquid gold, which theoretically can be used in baking just like butter. Start by frying a pound of bacon. Bacon is always a good idea. Fire! Just like pre-ordering my new cookbook, Baking Yesteryear. Hot bacon. Was that too forward? Sorry, I'm just excited. You know, they say bacon clogs your arteries. I said, yeah, with what? Bacon. We need a 1/2 cup. Perfect. Now into a bowl with a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 egg, vanilla, and whisk. If your grease is solid, melt it. Sorry, it's the bacon and the vanilla. The dry ingredients, we just need 2 cups of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Then we bring it all together with a big cup of choc-chips. We can add mood juice if it's too dry. Oh, this is good. Chill. 350 for around 12 minutes. You smell amazing. Oh my God. Salty, sweet, bacon, chocolatey, chewy. It's dark magic. A dirt cake from 89. There are gummy worms. Start with 2 small packs of vanilla pudding. Get it! Plus 3 cups of mood juice. Step 1 is to beat together 8 ounces of cream cheese and a 1/2 cup of butter. What do you mean step 1? What about this? Is the pudding related or did you just want a snack? In goes a 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. So we're making cream cheese frosting. We don't have a cake, but don't worry. We have pudding. Next, we fold in a tub of Cool Whip. Okay, we no longer have frosting. Next, we fold in the pudding. Now we no longer have pudding or frosting. We have, well, actually, I don't know what this is. Now we need a pack of Oreos. Oh, for f***'s sake. Don't worry, we don't get to enjoy them. They just get a summary execution. Downshift. Assemble in layers. Oh. Finally, we half bury the worms. Sentences that should never be in a cookbook. I mean, come on, really? It's just American. Chill. While you wait, you can pre-order my cookbook, Baking Yesteryear. Woo! That's sugar. This will make kids go feral. Little Johnny's gonna put his tricycle in the Indy 500. It's actually really good. Snickerdoodles from 1918. Now, I have never had these. You must remember, I'm not an American. I am a Bermudian, and we grew up with things like party rings and custard creams. Until yesterday, I thought a Snickerdoodle was a dog. Start with a cup of shortening. In goes a pinch of salt and a cup and a half of sugar. Cream. Next, we beat in 2 eggies. I just love eggies. For the dry ingredients, we need 2 3/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of floof soda, not powder. I think it's underlined for a reason. Finally, we need 3 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Good heavens. That's excessive. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hi. Roll to balls. Goodbye, balls. Moderate oven for 11 minutes. Means 350 Fahrenheit. They just hadn't invented numbers yet. Also, I seem to have a book. They're poofy. Dredge them through a half cup of sugar with 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. Pillowy. They're like sugar cookies, but comfier. Very good. Ranch from 67. Come to think of it, I've never really thought about what's in ranch, perhaps out of fear. Start with a half cup of buttermilk and a half cup of sour cream. Time for lactose. I once watched a friend of mine eat a whole bottle of ranch with his pizza. Yeah, he's in prison now. Next up, a half cup of mayonnaise. A half teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. 3, 2, 1. 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. Forsaken by parsley. Never saw that coming. Just a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of dried dill weed. What did you call me? Oh, for mix to the fridge. Psst, you want a sneak peek at my cookbook? That's it. Now that it's rested, we can serve. Suppose it was too tired before. That's good. No joke, that's great. One sec. I think you'd like this. Ranch, baby. Irish soda bread from 1909. So you want bread and you want it now. Well, this is the loaf for you. We start with 4 cups of flour in a sifter. Come on, Frank, you lazy fish. Woo, get in. Next up, a heaping teaspoon of baking soda. Floof soda, you were made for this. And a teaspoon of salt. Yes, this is a sifter. This is a sieve, and I am pedantic. Next in, 2 cups of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you could always go to the store. That's how stores work. I'm serious, don't disrespect the Irish. They can be mean. To mix, we must only use our hands. Don't worry, my hands are the only touch I know. Come on. Hello. Skillet. Flour. Then we bless the loaf. What do you mean? Did it sneeze? We just cut it. Now into a hot oven for 45 to 55 minutes. That's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo! Look at that! Now we let it cool. If you don't have my cookbook, you could always use a cooling rack. Now that's just a plain good loaf. What's up, Frank? Come on. K2 Defence Biscuits from the Second World War. You know times must be tough when your biscuits start getting model numbers. Start with 25 grams of sugar, followed by 25 grams of a mild treacle. Next up is 50 grams of lard. Please get out of the box. Please exit. That was only its first form. 70 grams of milk powder. Mix. Now 200 grams of graham flour. Do you know how hard it is to find graham flour? Hard. 15 grams of wheat germ. Fresh wood chips. I've been told to keep this in the fridge so it stays disgusting for longer. Thank you again. Finally, a half teaspoon of salt. And a 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate. Come on! There we go. So these were a part of America's K-rations. Think of them like dystopian lunchboxes. Woo! Poke some holes in. $3.50 for about 15 minutes. What's that, Frank? You like my cookbook? He can't read. These are the very definition of sustenance. A bit like a dog biscuit, but I would take these over hardtack. Sunflower cookies from 74. So these were part of the hippie health food craze, which I didn't know was a thing. Seems they enjoyed baking in more than one sense of the word. To a half cup of butter goes a cup of brown sugar. Mix. In goes 2 eggs. Half a cup of flour, a teaspoon of floof powder, and half a cup of wheat germ. Oh no. Move, Hollis. What's wheat germ? Nothing good. It has the pleasant taste of wood chips. Earthen. Or let this sit and get all nice and miserable. The wheat germ just needs to swell up like an infection. Soaks up the butter and everyone's happiness. Next is 1.5 cups of shelled sunflower seeds. This is just bird seed. Food of the birds. Avian. Oh no. Do you have friends? Are they birds? Make this for them. Their little bird beaks and bird mouths will love it. Half cup of pumpkin seeds. Don't even chop them. No. Yeah, they let their bird stomachs digest it. Feathery freaks. $3.50 for about 12 minutes. Now they can smell it. You know what birds can't do? Read my cookbook, as far as we know. These taste like a damp park bench. Sorry, hippies, I'm with Nixon on this one. A trench cake from World War I. In the Great War, people dug holes and threw things at each other. It's a bit like a children's sandbox, just with an abundance of missing limbs. Start with 8 ounces of flour, to which we rub in 4 ounces of margarine. Ugh. To be fair, my only real issue with margarine is its existence. Also, do notice how we don't mix cakes like this anymore, because we're no longer daft. In goes 3 ounces of brown sugar, followed by 2 teaspoons of cocoa. Ah, yes. The LaCroix method of adding flavor. Just enough to make you realize what you don't have. Half teaspoon of nutmeg and ginger, plus 3 ounces of currants. Ounces are my least favorite unit, unlike my cookbook, which is an absolute unit. Finally, we need a 1/4 pint of moo juice. Give me a normal measurement. A teaspoon of white vinegar and a half teaspoon of bicarbonate. Bicarbonate? Think you're plush. Oh, thick. Moderate oven for about an hour. It's not awful, but it is sad. If someone said that to me in the trenches, I would give up.